This is the install video for the Macks Factory infilter vent kit. Since he designed a new two-piece infilter, Aaron Mack reached out to us and asked if we would want to go ahead and design a vent kit that's serviceable for the Macks build. Nobody else has done this. Figured, why not? Let's go ahead and do it. And it is finalized. So we'll go over parts, we'll go over the tools you need, we'll go over how to prep the shell, we'll go over everything in this video. But first we need to give props where props are due. Pixel Props. Jason, we appreciate your hard work, man, for helping us collaborate and get this done. And Aaron Mack for reaching out and sending us a sample that we can work with to design this kit. Now in this kit you will get the infilter fan board. Comes with the LED, the fan underneath, your lead that goes to the main box, a couple capacitors. Everything looks real nice and even, blacked out board. These two outer slots are for your mounts, and this center hole here is for the atomizer. This is the electronics board here. It's got the air pump inside of it. The board that's dialed in runs on 12 volts. Your hose, your nuts, and your washers. These right here will be used to mount this inside the infilter. We've got a 90-degree hose clip, and then we have 4 straight clips. And we'll go through all this as we assemble. And this is the atomizer assembly here. Now, the two most crucial tools you will need are a burr bit, something that's tapered, and then a file of some sort. Now, in order to allow this kit to fit inside of the pack, this area right here, although it has been chewed up from trial and error, so I'm gonna have to fix this up before I send this back to Andrew, but the main idea is to open up this hole large enough where it allows your atomizer to come in and out. The bigger you make the hole, the better it is. I know you want to keep it as original as possible. That was the whole point of doing this. But if you can make this clean, get that hole as big as you would like, at least to fit the atomizer through. And then there's a little notch down here. That notch is going to be for this wire right here to pass through. So we'll go ahead and get you set up on the stand. We'll kind of go through what needs to be done. Now, in order to get everything to fit properly, it kind of needs assembled, you know, you can't do one piece at a time. It's not going to work that way. So it all needs to be assembled together. As it's going together, this part comes in, this part tightens down, this thing goes here. So we'll go over all that. But the first thing we need to do on the atomizer assembly here, we're going to put our bolts through. These are the bolts that come with the two-piece infilter. These are the bolts that actually screw into these holes right here through the shell. So if you don't have your knockouts already done, drill your holes out, open this up, put a little notch. You'll see where the notch goes, because this board sits like this. The notch is going to be made for the wires to pass through right here. So as long as you can line up where these wires come down into the shell, that's where your notch needs to be, so the wires can sit down in there and not get pinched. So the first thing we do, flip this over, and down inside here, we're going to put the atomizer housing right into those holes, and then it sits in there just like that. Now I found the easy way of doing this is to keep this facing down, and then you bring the in filter up to it. That way the screws line up and nothing falls out. So you get your in filter in there. That just loose is fine. Maybe 2 or 3 threads just to hold it on there. So now that the in filter and the atomizer are together, what we can do now is we take our in filter board. Now, down in here, where that notch is at, you want to feed this through this hole along down the side of the notch, and it comes out right up under this area. You can try to put it through before everything gets assembled and whatnot, but I found that having this in place already kind of helps. And it does go through. I might take it apart just to fish it through so that we don't... Oh, there we go. Now, gently slide it all the way down. And at that point, everything lines up nicely. And once that's done, you can flip it back over. And then at that point, you can tighten up your screws. And what that's going to do is it's going to sandwich everything together. So it's going to pull the in filter and the atomizer assembly together and tighten them up. I am not using the right tool for this. There's one. There's 2. Now I'm not going to smash this all together and tighten it up and all that, but now you can see down in here it's snug. And there's a pivot point right here, so it will allow you to move it to line up the atomizer inside the end filter. Let's make sure. Oh yeah, I can see everything pretty good. Let's rotate this way. All right. Now that you've got your board inside here that's floating, at that point, you'll take your washers and your nuts, and you'll put that over the top of the bolts that are used to tighten the in filter in place. And you snug everything in place. This is the point where everything is installed, but you don't want it to be tight because your atomizer needs to be fit and screwed into place. And once you make sure everything lines up properly and it looks good and everything clears, then you can go ahead and tighten everything up. Snug. It doesn't have to be tight. You'll risk breaking the fiberglass, breaking the atomizer. But you can see in here that this moves. So that's where your pivot point right here comes into play. You can adjust that. So now that we're done inside the in filter, we'll put the cap on it. Just a plain old end filter. Now we're going to go inside here. And this is the easy part. Take your electronics box, take your hose, just put your hose on like normal. Your wire leads are going to go to their corresponding partners. These are wired opposite of each other. So one is male, one is female on both sides, so you can't mix them up. Now you have plenty of room in here. I'm not going to mount this anywhere just because you will have plenty of room around the inside of the cyclotron. I mean, you could almost put it up inside underneath the clippered valve as well. Anywhere in that area, this will mount anywhere. So with that said, these clips right here, you'll be able to mount these. You'd probably be able to use super glue or like an epoxy to the inside of the shell or on the motherboard. And if you wanted to take these off, I mean, they're plastic, so they'll break. I mean, I will have a bunch of these, so I include 4 of them. So you mount those wherever. Your hose will clip right into it. So those are for you guys to put wherever you're going to put them. Now, down here, where the end of the air tube comes off of the atomizer, this is where you're going to put your hose. So now everything is connected, it's installed. At this point is when you want to figure out where you're going to mount this, and it will mount anywhere. Like I said, you might even be able to mount it to the lens box, to the top of it or the bottom of it. You have the room to do it. But with that said, if this gets mounted here on the shell, let's say it's mounted to the motherboard, sorry. So on the flat spot, this would be the motherboard. You have all this room left over for your hose. So mounting it will be the easy part, along with this elbow. Now this elbow is meant to give you a 90-degree bend. That way when you put your hose on, it will all look nice and clean and follow your design, however you mount it in here. You can run it this way, you run it wherever, but that's it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to stand the pack up. We're going to put power to it so you guys can see what it does. We'll just run this on the outside, seeing how this is all installed. Go. Now you can see back here, the thing coming out. Again, mount where you like. There's plenty of wire and plenty of hose for it to go. Now we're going to run 12 volts to it from the bench tester. All right, 12 volts. Vent kit's hooked up. Shut the light off. Kill both lights. Now, this is what it looks like. Kick the lights back on. We'll open up the end filter. You can see what's going on inside here. And that's the full demo of it. And this, if you ever need to add fluid to it, comes right on out now. The biggest part is getting this lined up correctly. That's going to be the chore. It can sit in here at an angle. It doesn't need to sit directly straight up and down. It can sit at an angle as long as the hole is big enough for the atomizer to clear. It can sit at any angle you want it in there. And then at that point, these threads are really, really fine. And there you have it. CNA prop design, ventilation system version 1 for Macks Factory Equipment division. Hope you enjoyed it.